Hey guys, Ren over here with another guide. I wanted to get this guide out sooner, but things happened, so it had to be delayed. But anyhow, I'll try my best to cover as much as I can. This is to serve as a beginner's guide to the version 2 title. And the timing seems perfect since there was recently new skills that were specialized for ranged weapons / classes. For starters, rangers specialize in long range combat, and they're not really meant to be used as close range combat. And they have a special mechanic that, depending on the distance between rangers and the enemies, the damage will vary. The further you are away from them, the more damage you will do. The rangers can only utilize two weapons, the assault rifles and the launchers. Launchers focusing on heavy artillery and the rifles being pretty explosive in some cases. You'll see why later on in this guide and within the B-roll clips. We're going to cover its Photon Arts, the skill tree, add-on skills, required stats, and more. And with that said, let's get started. Both of the assault rifles and the launchers have 4 Photon Arts each. The assault rifles are a bit more mobile than launchers are in terms of Photon Arts. Starting with the assault rifle Photon Arts, we have Raising Shot, which has 2 variations. One where if you tap the PA, you'll do 2 quick shots at the target, whereas if you charge it, you'll shoot a blast that can pierce through enemies. Homing Darts fires bullets depending on how many enemies you have nearby. This isn't very effective against single targets, but it's very good Photon Art for mobbing. Blaze Shot has 2 variations as well. Tapping this will do 1 shot while you're doing some crazy flips with a decent amount of damage. However, if you hold this, you'll fire a series of bullets while shooting down a single target enemy. You can also move while performing this Photon Art as well. Revolt Aim is a tricky one to use. This allows you to spawn a pre-fire mark, and you can hold this Photon Art to properly aim, and if you land the shot, you will do damage. But you have to be mindful of where and when you cast this Photon Art. The reason being is because of the distance. If you go too far forward, you'll shoot the mark past the enemy and miss. And if you go too far back, you'll still miss. There are a couple ways to know that you'll land the shot, but you won't miss. One where you can do 2 rifle weapon actions pushing you back twice, and the other if you have the spread shot active available to you, it'll push you back to a certain distance, and that should be more than enough for you to land the mark successfully. Now for launchers, this weapon is a little bit on the riskier side since this weapon is on the heavy duty side, which gives you almost no mobility in its Photon Arts. Fallen Impact shoots explosive shells from the sky onto a locked target. This has no tracking, so it's not very good on enemies that move a lot. So it's best to use this on bosses that are stunned. Unless you're mobbing, then you can use this on PSE bursts as well. Your Eraser fires a big fat laser. You can hold this Photon Art for a longer period of time, but it will consume more PP over time. An explosion will follow up if used with a set of time after the initial charge, and you are also locked into position and you're unable to move in this state. Multi-launch is one of the best mobile Photon Arts launchers have. You can move while shooting 5 or 6 shots with this Photon Art followed by a finishing shot, and this is very good at tracking enemies as well, as it will bypass anything in between. So for example, you target a soulless arm or tail or whatever, and you're on the other side of the map. This helps close that gap and still be able to hit that target as long as you're locked onto it. Divine Impact has 2 parts. One where you just tap this Photon Art, you'll fire a blast immediately in front of you while pushing you back because of the recoil that it has. The other, that is chargeable. When you charge this, it has a longer reach, but the explosion will take place on the marked target. Both the assault rifles and the launchers have its own variation of the Photon Blast. The assault rifles will shoot down a pillar of light, attacking enemies near the marked location or target, which is super good for PSC bursts. While the launcher shoots a grenade onto the target, creating an explosion dealing massive amounts of damage, while expanding wider and wider. And that's it about the Photon Arts. The assault rifles are more flexible than the launchers are when it comes to mobility, but the launchers are also good when it comes to bossing since it can do a lot of damage with the chargeable Photon Arts and such. Now as for the skills, of course, we'll go over each one. All of these skills will drastically improve ranger's performance and why they are also viable when it comes to increasing your DPS. So let's start off with the skills that can be usable if you want to use Ranger as a subclass. The Bad Condition Ward and Reduction increases your status ailment resistance. So for example, some enemies will have elemental attacks that can either burn you, electrify you, freeze you, etc, etc. This skill increases the chances of not being affected by these things. Blight Rounds is the most important active skill for Rangers, and only usable as a main class only. This allows Rangers to apply the weak bullet on the target enemy for a set time of 15 seconds. increasing potency when attacking the same target with Blight runs applied to it. You can only hold up to 3 bullets at a time. Once it runs out, there is a 10-second cooldown before you can use it again. The Blight rounds has 4 setup sub-skills you can utilize with. Blight rounds reinforce triggers when the marked target is hit by 100 times. The mark will turn purple, and when this mark is active, you will do even more damage on the marked target, and the time duration is extended by another 15 seconds. However, 100 times do sound like a lot, but it's actually really easy. This doesn't mean you alone have to hit it 100 times for the mark to trigger, which is almost next to impossible when trying to solo it. But you and everyone around you who attacks the marked target also counts toward the 100 hit count, making it faster for the Blight rounds to be extended, allowing everyone to deal bonus potency. Launcher Blight rounds allows launchers to be able to use Blight rounds as well if launcher is equipped. Before, it used to be only the assault rifles that can apply Blight rounds, but now with this skill, launcher can as well. Wide range Blight round is another active skill for Ranger, serving the same purpose as the original Blight rounds active skill, but instead, any enemies that are in range will be applied with Blight rounds, regardless of the target limit. And Blight rounds self-benefit allows you to do more damage on any other parts of the enemy that is not targeted by Blight rounds. Your potency is increased by 115% on any parts unaffected by Blight rounds. So, take Didolax for example, he has at least like 5 targetable areas, both his feet, his chest, his back, and possibly his face. If you Blight around his chest and you decide to attack his feet or his back or whatever, your potency is increased by 115%. This effect only applies to yourself and no one else's. Stealth Strike decreases the chances of you getting targeted by enemies. Pretty self-explanatory, meaning you won't get aggro at a threat level of 20%. Low landing attack and charge allows you to reduce your fall speed whenever you decide to do your normal attacks or charge Photon Arts while airborne. Long range advantage is recently one of the newer skills, but it had the wrong description saying you'll do more Photon Art damage if you're targeted, which of course didn't seem right since Ranger has Stealth Strike to decrease their chances of getting aggro. Luckily, this has been fixed already with the right description. The damage of your Photon Art is increased to bosses as long as you are not the one who has aggro, and this is for main class only. Spread Shot is another active skill usable with assault rifles. When you use this active skill, you will then push yourself forward followed by a shotgun blast while pushing yourself back. And Spread Shot has 3 sub-skills which benefit the active skill. Spread Shot Quick Getaway grants you iframes when you press a directional key during the active skill. The animation is changed and you will be pushed back a bit further than the one with no input. Spread Shot Wide Range changes the attack range to only attack a wide range of enemies in front of you. And Spread Shot Auto Charge, as the name states, this active skill will charge by itself slowly once you enter combat. Sticky Bomb Quick Reload. The Sticky Bomb is your launcher's weapon action. This will stick on a single enemy you are currently targeting, and it will detonate once you've done enough hits with a grenade attached to them, dealing damage upon explosion. And this Sticky Bomb Quick Reload skill shortens the cooldown time down to 30 seconds after use. Sticky Bomb Advance grants iframes for the entire weapon action animation, so this is very good. And Sticky Bomb Wide Range increases the AoE damage when the bomb explodes. Launcher Charge Grouping narrows down your charge normal attacks for launchers when you input the forward directional key to hit more accurately. Launcher Attack Short Charge reduces the damage down to 75% of their charge normals, but instead, your charge rates increased by 50%. Launcher Attack Reinforce is an active skill specifically for launchers, increasing the attack speed of your uncharged normal attacks, and this lasts for 30 seconds, but the cooldown wait time is 60 seconds. This also benefits your launcher's sidestep normals as well. When you sidestep a normal attack, the attack comes out faster, and if you can pull it off with the right setting, the DPS on this is quite good. Fly Shot Advance grants iframes for assault rifles weapon action. Rifle Attack Impact buffs your normal attacks once you build up its gauge found above your sub pellet. There will be a visual change in this, and the set amount of shots you can do while in this state is around 64 shots. The Rifle Grenadier is your rifle's weapon action, and with this you have 2 options. One, you can input a directional key with a weapon action to throw the grenade at the target enemy. The grenade will do 560% potency in this stage. And your second option, you can do the no directional input to place down a trap. When an enemy walks in range, the trap will explode while dealing 700% trap potency to nearby enemies. And the cooldown for both of these variations is 30 seconds. This has 2 sub-skills that can help make the Rifle Grenadier much better. The Rifle Grenadier Quick Reload, when you dodge attacks using Assault Rifle's weapon actions, the Rifle's Grenadier timer resets, meaning you can cast another grenade as soon as it pops up. And since the cooldown reduction is about the same with 30 seconds reduction at max points, you can immediately go back to back with this skill. And the Rifle Grenadier Advanced grants you a weapon action with assault rifles with some more iframes. And that's about it. The Ranger's skill tree isn't as big as most of the other classes like Hunters, Fighters, Bouncers, etc. And Ranger has some very nice tools within the skill tree for sustainability. As for the add-on skills, Ranger's main add-on skill increases ranged weapon potency. So this can benefit Ranger, Gunner, Braver with bows, and Slayer. Rangers has some good sub-effects that you may want to go after. The HP recovery upon joining trial and shock resistance is okay, but they're not great since they're specifically for trials out in the field. What you want to go for is the Photon Blast potency up and HP up. It would be a good idea to try to level up your Photon Blast potency for more damage, and having more HP would be nice as well and sounds better than the other two sub-effects. The Blight rounds, or Weak Bullet, is the key to providing everyone more and better damage output once you get the mark to turn purple. And once that happens, it's game over for the enemy. And if you use Launcher, be sure to look for your surroundings and not animation lock yourself within PAs, a laser, fallen impact, etc. And make sure if you use the rifles, make sure to make use of the rifle's weapon action as it's a great tool for dodging attacks with constant iframes and grenade resets. The more successful dodges you pull off, the more grenades you'll be able to pull and explode. And yeah, that's about it for the version 2 Rangers guide. I hope this helps if you plan on trying Ranger, or serves as a refresher if you plan on playing Ranger again with some new stuff compared to a while back. But yeah, if this video helped, I would appreciate a like and sub to the channel for more PSO2 content. And with that said, I hope you all have a great day and I'll see you all in the next one.